A very warm good afternoon to one and all, and we welcome you back to the Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open for our moving day Saturday. Day number 2 of 3. Our defending champion is the first player that we see today. Is so young. She is at even par, 6 off the lead as we begin our coverage live here from the Dayouwinia Country Club. And 6 under is a popular score, and it likely will not be the best score. By the end of the day, over the course of the next 3 hours, we will start to see the field separate themselves from the true contenders to the rest of the charging pack. 120 in the field, all in the hunt for this $1 billion purse. And as you can see, it appears to be another beautiful day here in Po-Chun. That, unfortunately, not a beautiful result of this hole. A bogey for Yu So-yeon. Lots of action on the greens. Park Ji-young, birdie to go under par. 1 under and 5 back. Take a look at her scorecard thus far today. Birdies at 2 and 6, bogeys at 1 and 5. My name is Adam Jenkins. It's a treat to have you aboard with us. Kim Soo-ji. She had been our leader by day's end yesterday, the 67. Unbelievable opening round, and trying to pick up where she left off. It was just a 1-stroke lead when she began the day. She has her 1 birdie on hole number 9 thus far. And the other 3 players tied with her at that 6 under are already in that gorgeous clubhouse just in the background here. Sonia Bean, she's 114 meters out, a great spot in this fairway. Going with pitching wedge, needs to get all the way to the back of the green. You can just make out the flag under the tree to the left. Well, she went to the back, as did Kim Soo-ji, excuse me, but she is going to bounce off and get stuck in that tall grass. There's Kim Min-biol. 2 holes remaining in her front 9. She has already halved the lead to move within 2, but I was pretty sure almost immediately that she had pulled that to the inside, and that's a big opportunity that she has let slip. She has been our dynamite rookie so far this season, starting to open up a gap that would even rival the margin that EA1 put together by season's end last year. Let's go to 13 next. It's a 351 meter par 4 in a 247 meter drive. Over the rough, over the sand, and nothing more than a short wedge. Speaking of incredible rookie seasons, Hung Ye-na, of course, she is right in that conversation as well. Excuse me. She's at 4 under on 13. At least the 13th hole of her round. Hole number 4 on the front 9, and she gets up wonderfully. Just plodding along, taking care of the remaining holes that most of our featured group has already come through today. This is the 13th playing of this Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open. Yu So-yeon last year had 1 with 13 under par, on the way to picking up 162 million won out of a 900 million won purse, and that purse has gone up every year by $100 million, 100 million won, excuse me, since 2019. Here's how we stand right now. Kim Min-ju level with Jae Min-young, Han Chin-sun, and Kim Soo-ji at that 6 under par. The score to beat, but just where will Kim Soo-ji be able to get to? That's the question. And yes, another gorgeous day up here in Pochon. Here's Sung Eugene on 7, looking for a birdie. And getting her bird. Just enough on the inside of the cup to go back-to-back now. And we'll certainly be keeping a close eye on her progress this afternoon. Sonia Bean from the rough. Legs almost completely together, an upright swing. It's almost a putting stroke, just a smooth back and forth, pop it up, get as close as you can, and she's done so. About 5 feet separating her and her par. Yu So-yeon too, after her bogey at the last, 107 meters out after a good drive at 10. She'll roll through the fringe and just drop onto the green. Another hot day today, 30 degrees, a few degrees centigrade cooler than it had been yesterday, but probably a day where you like a little bit of wind to try and break that heat. Quite still, only 0.4 meters per second. This is Kim Soo-ji, just about from the fringe. Planning for, perhaps hoping for, that right to left break that would never come, so she too will be leaving here with par. And the chance now for Park Ji-young to continue the run of back-to-back birdies that we've seen. Here's her approach at 7. On the par 4. Shot for it to sit. Off towards the back, but not really in a spot with too much danger. Sonia Bean, the danger of a bogey. Start this a little bit inside, more inside than that. Is what would have been prescribed, and after missing the green in regulation, she is unable to get up and down for a par. We, of course, had the benefit of seeing what the ball did for Kim Soo-ji. She didn't quite get the same look at the break, and it costs her. Sung Eugene now on the par 3 8th. 152 meters this hole, and the pin front right today. She unfortunately goes well left. Pick back up with Lee So-young. Also her second at 7. Well, Park Ji-young couldn't get her request to sit answered. Even less so for our defending champ. And you mean just leaving herself with a putt. A sliver over a meter, not much more. So we get her within 1. Nicely done. Brilliant approach and the most straightforward of putts. Back-to-back birdies where we heard that before. On into the putt that's going to come closer to us at the bottom of the screen. Well, she knew what the break was going to do, but she totally misjudged how much speed she would need. It'll be a head scratcher for her. Byul on the final hole before the turn. Good start to the hole after almost in the exact middle of the fairway, and she gets up to that back left, which is becoming almost a prescribed landing spot. Everyone's seeming to go there today. Kim Soo-ji in her round yesterday. An eagle at 6, birdie at 3, 14, and 15. And 1 bogey at number 1. Otherwise, she would have been starting the day with this score. Cannot get much closer than that. It's a disappointing par. Disappointing because she played that first putt so well. Just trying to get this close. She'll take anything to get under par, but I don't know that this is going to be the stage for it to happen. She had a good read. And left a little bit of the power out that she needed to get all the way there. She was just in this exact scene. Hoping for a different ending this time. Bogey, bogey, double bogey, and finally back in the par column. She definitely will rue that missed birdie, though. She is dropped well out of the hunt. It was still early days. And Park Ji-young, she has the speed and the line. Just hovered, but enough to go back to back. Third birdie of the day as she is on to hole number 8. And Park Bo-gyam starts the back 9 over par. That'll go a long way in helping her to try and get closer. The projected cut is even. We have 71 players at the moment, even or better. Plus 1 wouldn't cut it. So Eugene, she is in the realm now where every putt for birdie is going to push towards the top step of the leaderboard from a long way out. Narrowly had it there. Now it needs to stop. No doubt she needed to give it a good whack. Kim Min-byul. Nice birdie indeed. Her second of the round and her first since hole number 2. She's within 2, just outside of that top 10. "100 meters on the nose and a pitching wedge. A hole with next to no wind. Right over top of the pin. She can certainly work with that. Trying to keep herself on the good side of the cut line. No, tapped her foot just before she rimmed around, and that is a bogey. She, of course, was very in demand this week in the lead up to the tournament as the defending champ. Said it would be nice to catch 2 rabbits. That break the jinx with even numbers and title defenses, in that she's speaking to the fact that she's never won in an even numbered year. She's 8th in the prize money, 5th in the points. He's so young, adding that she definitely feels the pressure of being the champion and will do her best to try and defend it. Yu So-yeon 2, her second on the par 4, 11th. That's the exact right neighborhood to be in. She's in a great run of form right now, Bak Ji-young. Next up is the par 3, and she's grabbed the 8 iron out of her bag. Through the fringe and back on line, closer and closer to about 5 feet away. She's caught lightning in a bottle, and she's doing her best to not let it escape. Kim Soo-ji, the downhill putt for birdie. Speed was there, the line just fractionally not. She'll settle for a par. Over to 14, checking in on what's new. This 510-meter par 5. 217, the second shot. An attempt to reach in 2, and what appears to be the wrong side of the cart path. Not in too much danger though, but this is going to take some skill. Obviously, best case scenario. Grab that thick fringe, slow it right down. Just like that, maybe a bit too much of the rough. But she's on, and she'll be putting for a birdie. .225 local time here, just northeast of Seoul, up on the border of the Gyeonggi-do province. Another 3-round event up in the mountainside. This 11th MBN, Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open. Pak Bo-kyam a chance to get back to even. Here it comes. Another putt that's a little too firm. It's an 8-iron as well for Sung Eugene, but this on her second at 9. And again, she follows the game plan to the back left. You mean 3 for 3 in the first 5 holes, and all of a sudden the rookie has a share of the spoils and a lot of time to build upon it. Just as Hung Yoo-min had done, Pak Ji-young trying to do the same. Slight downhill, bit of break, just enough to not quite make this straightforward. Exhibit A. Too quick and missing to the outside right. Definitely gonna want a moment to retrace her steps and go through the motions. Almost the same distance out, just now needs to come back uphill. Makes no mistake on the second try, and yes, she goes back to where she played the first putt, trying to figure out what went wrong, what was off. So it'll be par. On to 11, Yoo So-yeon 2. Trying to narrow the margin to 4 after a far more eventful start to this round than she would have been after. Raises again. Two chances to gain some strokes to the good. She goes over. Kim Byul at 10. Up and down, lands almost in the center of the green. That's about 7 meters to the pins left. .377 yards, 345 meters is par 4 11th, and Pak Bo-kyam. Straight as an arrow. Be about 115 for her approach shot. 225 off the tee today. Just like another near perfect swing. And it matches the eye test. So you're being just 2 meters off of Kim Soo-ji at a 223. That, however, does not look like your average run-of-the-mill. He's going to avoid the worst of it. Actually has the longest drive in unconventional fashion. So no birdie for Kim Min-byul. Just settle for a par. Settling for par is not at all what Hung Yoo-min has done today to start her second round. Up onto the green, and seems at this point a matter of when, not if, she will take over sole possession of it. Eugene with a miss that will haunt her. Nice shot, I think, is underselling just how good of an approach that had been. Literal feet away. Thought she could make a birdie like that with her eyes closed. I'd say let's see if Kim Soo-ji can one-up her, but one-upping her basically means eagle, which she had done yesterday. Follows in the footsteps. 2 brilliant attacks of the pin. Should be 2 birdies. And Kim Soo-ji is going to need to find some of them with some company at the top from Hung Yoo-min, only 5 holes into her round playing on the back 9. She has already leveled what she had done yesterday. Could be a shootout between those 2 ladies this afternoon. Also sharing it with Hyun-Chin's son, Jae Min-kyung, and others 6 under. The score to beat for now here at Dayouwinia Country Club. Park Bo-gyeom gets herself back in the birdie column at long last. It had been since the second hole. 9 is next. Now if her putter doesn't let her down in consecutive holes, she should be right back to her birdieing ways. And give me the chance to go to the top all by her lonesome. Slightly miscalculated that time. She sends it wide right. There will be plenty of moments, both today and into tomorrow, as long as she stays in the hunt. Not every putt's gonna go. She does the important thing and avoids dropping. It's amazing sometimes how quickly you can go from the confident birdie to a nerve-wracking putt for par that can cost you a stroke, but you should be picking up. What it does do, however, is opens the door for Kim Soo-ji. And this one's gonna fall. First player this week to reach 7 under par. Third birdie of the day, 1, 3, and 11. Just that bogey at number 6. Spoiling the scorecard a little bit. We find Hoda Bin now 6 back of the lead. 2 shots through on the par 5 12th, 143 to go. Not able to carry all the way to the back edge where we find the flag today. Won't rule her out for a birdie just yet. Certainly won't be ruling out Park Ji-young here. Needs to get back to the right. Does not comply in time. Come awfully close on back-to-back holes. Couple of birdies and a bevy of pars as well in the past 20 minutes or so of her second round. And Yu So-yeon 2 up onto the green, but fairway's out still. We're headed somewhere. There we go. There's the slow push in, and we find our leader on the tee. Just a 5-wood to start hole number 12. Going for accuracy over power here with a very narrow fairway. If she grabbed the driver, she would have been past that first fairway. So she makes the right decision and makes a great shot on top of it. So Eugene at 10 with less than 100 meters to go. She's got the 48-degree wedge. Averaging slightly better than par here today. In fact, we've seen 22 birdies. Next is Kim Min-byul at 11, pitching wedge. Big bounce it takes and is not going to stay on the green as a result. Yu So-yeon too. 11.7. We'll play even longer with how much uphill there is to start this putt. There it goes left. There it goes on line almost. Good putt to set up her par. Another breathtaking day, 30 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Xin Shiel with a 65 today. She's 2 off. For the second round, much more consistent round 4 yesterday. Excuse me, where she had 2 double bogeys on the scorecard. As we continue to roll through the leaderboards, let's get to some more action. Never really seemed like an inevitable birdie, or even a likely one at that. So she'll take the 2-putt par. Just not quite close enough, Hodebin, on that approach. So we go to the opposite side of 11. Kim Min-byul. Looks like our leaderboard's here to stay. No complaints. Up onto the fringe, slows it right on down. 4 feet shy. You might have noticed if you've been watching a fair bit this year, brand new graphics package for the 2023 season. And as you might also have noticed, the end of the round, you see some of the more fancy graphics in Hangul. Slowly over the season, more and more of those are being added to our English side as well. Makes for much better storytelling and keeps you up to date to the second on what's going on. It's a nice addition. There's Pak Bo-gyeom, tied for 59th at even, and needs to stay here to keep herself in the hunt to make the cut. Had some trouble off the tee, up into the hill, up into the rough. Able to recover on her second. Kim Soo-ji. Don't think she needed to hand that club back to her caddy if she didn't want to. It's what she played her first with. It's what she'll play her second with. 329 as she tries to take another 225 or so out of this hole. Looking a little bit right, but should behave. It's definitely one she can work with. Now she can relinquish the 5-wood. look for par for Kim Min-byul. Stays within 3. 11 holes down, 7 remaining. From the tee to the right side of the fairway on 16, a 232-meter drive. Leaving Hung Yee-min with a very workable wedge shot. Less than 90 to go. Straight up in the air, and again, showing no mercy to the pins. She is in attack mode and is making this course look very, very easy. Whatever she had for breakfast, whatever her morning routine was today, she's probably going to want to repeat it to the second heading into tomorrow the way she's going. Sung Eugene trying to keep this 4-under score, needs this par. Have a good snap of right to left break here. Not judging the weight quite as proficiently as we've grown accustomed to seeing. So she's going to drop. She was in between clubs. Not sure which one she wanted to go for. Weight-wise, probably the right club, but misaligned well off to the right. We've seen a few people descend to that first and lower stage of the green here, 12. Bogam is next from a much more pleasant lie than she played her last. That's where you want to be at 12. Kim Soo-ji leads Kim Min-ju, Jae Min-kyung, Han Jin-sun, Hung Yee-min by 1. At 7 under par, Pang Shin-shil and Sung-yi, Hee-chae and 2 all finished their rounds, including a brilliant 65, which matches the best that we saw yesterday. Kim Woo-jung also at 5 under, EA1 leading the pack at 4 under, tied for 10th, and that is quite the long list, including Kim Min-byul, bottom of page 2 of the leaderboard. Don't go anywhere more from Bochun here at the wonderful Dayouwinia Country Club after a short break. we learned anything from me so young over the years, we do not count her out until she has missed the cut or she is mathematically unable to reach the top. She definitely needs a handful of birdies down the stretch to try and keep pace. So we're seeing the likes of this young lady really start to pull away. Another golden opportunity here. And she is back in a share of the lead. 7 under she goes. Look at this start to her round. 4 birdies in 5 with still 2 holes to go on her front 9. She's absolutely got the game face on. Would have been on 13. She's not going to have enough to climb up onto the green despite the wind being at her back. Jiang having just made the turn, starting the back 9. Great little kick. And that should be a birdie that she is almost excessively confident in being able to make. Not much up or down or left or right. And Kim Soo-ji, she is 19 meters out. Long way up. Coming back, true. That's a great putt. It's not going to be her birdie, but it will be a par. She'll push that share one more hole. And Yu So-yeon to 6 back, and she needs to get that putter in gear. Have another chance. She's up quite comfortably. She's let one of these chances slip. She's let another. Time to settle for par once again. She feels snake bitten. You can understand why. And our defending champ is back on the right side of the cut line. That's her first birdie of the round. It's a good way to start. Hit the turn, hit the reset. Just needs a few more consistent approaches and let the putter do the easy work. Sung Eugene 9-iron after her bogey. Not the friendliest of bounces as it pops left. look a whole lot more simple than it probably would be, but she's hit that Zen mode where nothing is truly causing any doubt.
Shot.
Just needs one. See if that can kickstart a run. Kim Soo-ji is next. No hesitation this time, reaching for the big stick. Hoda being short on her approach to 13. Needs to loft it up and set it down pretty quick. Celebrate that as a success, but not fully out of the woods yet. Moving right along, not the spin nor the direction. And Bell left wanting a bit more.
Okay.
She finds herself in a touch of a rut. Struggling to find those consistent birdies while those around are having no such trouble. This is the scorecard up to this point. 69 in the first round. 4 birdies through 5 holes. She has only missed 1 fairway in regulation. She has made every green in regulation. And let's go through them all one by one. Starting on 13. It is amazing how easy this game can look when you can consistently get on the green in and around 5 feet. No doubt about that. And then this, at the border of the fringe. And a hole's out. That was the 3rd consecutive 16. You see that perfect 6 for 6 greens in regulation. He was going to add another 7 in less than 7 feet. This is not a simple putt. It's not an overly complicated one, but it's no walk in the park either. And would vault her into a share of the lead. She can make it a 5th in 6 holes. A little bit further, but a similar path. Just enough break to make this tricky. Tap to get it started. It looks left. Yeah, indeed. Nothing wrong with the par. At this point, to stay in the mix, there would be something a little bit wrong with par for you, Soyeon, too. Chance for a bird. And never. So much speed, you could hear the caddy saying, sit, sit. Good thing she left the flag in this time. First birdie of the back 9, tied for 6 now, her 3rd of the day. She went for it all, high risk, high reward, and the reward feels pretty good, I imagine. Another one for Hoda Bean. She won't be able to put a finger on why that's not in the hole. .125 meters out for Kim Soo-ji. About 8.5 meters above the hole as well. Pretty well in the center of the green. And Bak Bo-gyam's chance to respond. Some shock almost from the supporters. Not that they didn't think she could do it, but that's right up there with some of her best shots of the day. That's a huge kick. Literally and figuratively. Finally got birdie at the last. Lee So-young would love to go 2 for 2. Bar's been set pretty high on these approach shots here at 11. It's 107 meters from just at the very end of the fairway. Trading shot for shot and even, but just barely one-upping her group mate. Carrying right along and returning to the course with a flourish. Yusoyeon 2 neatly tucks that inside just a few feet. Head along to 13. This is Kim Soo-ji. Fairways uphill she has to work. And right to left will be the break. Just run out of steam. Centimeters away. Tap in par, and she will push that score another hole. Trying to snap a cold streak, Park Ji-young. See if the putter can reinvigorate her round.
Nice bogey.
Well done after 3 straight pars. Back inside of the top 20 and up to 3 under. Sun Eugene, her third on the par 5 12th. Not going to be able to hang on. It's the correct side of the green, just a little deep. And after being stymied through the first half of her round, the defending champ with a chance to go back to back. And she's got it there. Putting together a great little run. Here on the Ete course, back inside of the top 50 and some breathing room inside the cut line. And Park Bo-gyam also able to go under par. Two birdies in 3, third of the day. Final hole of her front 9, 114 meters this approach. It's the first time all day we have not seen her find the green in regulation. Not the worst of spots to be in. It looks like it'll be 2 holes without a birdie as Yusoyeon has this uphill putt for 2 under, and she's got it. First birdie since the very first hole of the day. Still +2 for the round. Time to undo some previous mistakes, however. Onward to 13. 9-iron and only 114 meters to go. The wind at her back, maybe pushing that a little bit deeper. She finds the middle of the green. Five holes remain in round 2 for Kim Soo-ji. Another swing of that driver. And another driver into the fairway. Pinpoint accuracy. Has that club working wonders for her. This one, Eugene is electing to putt this from the fringe. Looking for her birdie, but gone slightly right. Two-putt par. Course corrects a little bit. Pacquiao is running out of time to make a push back inside the cut line. Left herself with far too much to do for that birdie. Yu So-yeon too.
Good shot.
Great shot.
물 그냥 여기 공간에다 놓을까요?
이게 맞다.
She can find her footing in this home stretch. She could still be a factor yet tomorrow. So after her first missed green in regulation of the day, and Yamin just has to play that little pitch. It's about 7 feet past the hole. Back-to-back pars, far from the worst thing. Birdie would be great, but objective one, just get it close. Slides that between her group's ball markers and the hole. Now for Kim Soo-ji, the ball slightly below her feet here on 14. Every second, and it's an iron. Just methodically working her way down. And as more and more clouds start to roll over the course here, let's see what's new on the Dream Tour.
공은 필드에서 먼저 시작을 했고 스크린 투어에서 우승을 맛봤고 필드 투어에도 우승에 대한 욕심이 있었어요. 근데 참고 기다리다가 이렇게 나와서 너무 기뻐요.
Final round 66 for a winning score of 13 under for Hung Hyun-ji. 2023 Muan Country Club All For You Dream Tour 7th round. 13 under starts to feel like it might be what we see here at the Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open. 7 under, still 5 holes to play for our 2 co-leaders. She might not be a co-leader for much longer. Maybe the most pressure-packed putt of her day. to avoid a bogey making the turn, and agonizing miss. The only blemish on an otherwise near perfect start to the round. 4 birdies and that bogey. Out with a 33, drops her to the lead. Tied for 3rd at 6 under. Back to 15. This is Hoda being 7-iron on this 121-meter tiny par 3. Bit of spin, slows her down just in time. Back to 14. Scenic and serene. At the bridge over the creek. Kim Soo-ji waiting for the green light. What can she do? I'm not going to be able to stop it up in time. So a chip or a putt and seek of her birdie at the par 5 here. From just inside the cart path. Joan finishes the job and makes it out of the green. I'd be not quite satisfied with how she had that putt aligned. She made the right decision. Whatever that nagging suspicion had been, she listens to it, and she is able to muster up her 5th bogey of the day. She's certainly, her 5th birdie, excuse me. She certainly didn't look like she'd be joining us this weekend after a frustrating opening round. Yu So-yeon too, doing the same. Line it up, take a few paces back, make sure it's looking how you want it to. More than a marginal bit of left to right break as she looks to move to 3 under. And there she goes. Back to back now.
바로.
Just needed that one to break the dam.
치고 갈게요.
Into the top 20. Kim Soo-ji knows as soon as she rolls this onto the green, very quickly the break will matter. Downhill and coming back. Bit too much the start to the inside. for our sake and for Ang Yumin's sake. She keeps it close, unable to stretch that advantage. Now Sung Eugene from the fairway. Straight look down at the pin. Pulls off a admirable approach on down. Haven't yet seen an official yardage here. Longer than she would have liked, but manageable. Looking for a Herculean birdie. Exasperated a bit. That supporter thought it was gonna go, he did. 2-putt par once again. Kicks that can further down the line. Very delicate downhill putt. Did not want to blast that too bad. She's able to finish out in 2. Stays at 1 under. Take a beat and let the others prepare for their putts. Kim Soo-ji, it is a 1-shot lead at 7 under par. Park Ju-young is 70 today. Few 68s. Kim Chae-hyun, Sunju, Hung Jung-mi, all tied for 11th at 4 under. Kim Min-byul still hanging on to that 5 under score. Inside of the top 10 and only within a couple of strokes. So we'll take that pause for just a few minutes from now, right back out to the course as our coverage of round number 2 of the Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open for 2023 will continue.
너무 세다고 느껴지는 그런 건 없는 것 같은데.
빗대가 나빠. 그냥 다 칠게요.
Hung Yumin continues to march along, as does our group with the leader Kim Soo-ji. Playing with Park Bo-gyum and Son Ye-bin, the former with a 9-iron. Ricocheting off the cart path, getting stuck in the tree and spat back out into a spot that is slightly less perilous than could have been. That was well left. Can't blame it on the wind. There is none. Kim Soo-ji going for 8. Wide open green for her. Just past pin high. Hopeful bit of a headwind. Keeps her close. Good contact on that tee shot as well. Now Yu So-yeon 1 hole further down, only 81 meters out after a great drive. Right around 250, gets the backspin. Rolls her back. Stares at the flag from about 8 meters out. Wasn't too long ago that Hung Yumin was playing that 16th hole. Now on her back 9 on what will be her first hole tomorrow. Trying to get back to her birdieing ways. Downhill in a touch of break. But too quick. Hear the frustrated exhale. 3 straight holes without a bird. On the par 5, 14th. The tail thus far. 196 meters on the second shot, trying to reach into just short of the green, and 27 meters to go. It'd be impossible to have any qualms with what she had done thus far. Kim Min-byul is going to stop on the fringe. Just a bit too heavy. Tricky thing there is she's not above the hole. Gotta start that uphill to get it back on the green. Be curious to see how she attempts to tackle that. From 13, we find Park Ji-young hidden from the elbows down. 111 meters to go. 7 meters above the pin as she begins her backswing for the shot. She gets up, but it's not going to be particularly helpful. And back to the par 3. Easier said than done in rough this thick, but trying to play a flop. Not gonna be able to get up all the way. Stuck on the fringe. 3 shots down and still no green. And now the par save at number 1. Just a tiny tap. Sliver inside of 110. Pitching wedge for So Young. Can she ride this momentum and make a back 9 push? That will certainly help. Because of the lie, KLPGA electing to chip. Runs up, past the hole. Stops 3 feet beyond the target. Biel, that was also off the green, looking for a birdie, this time at the par 5. Reach in 1, 2-putt par. 2 under for the day, 5 under for the tournament, with 4 holes to go. Kim Soo-ji a chance to build a bit of a gap. Just lips out. Stalling out at this 7 under score. No such problems when Yumin isn't making birdies behind her. Now Yusoyeon 2. Would bring her within 3. 8.5. Down it goes. Oof. Tough to say if she would have stayed online with even a little bit more power, but she will be settling for par. Jeong, her chance to get to 4 under. Almost an identical end result. Just shy. Rolls in the par to stay at 3 under. Round of 70 in yesterday's Open. KLPGA looking to finish the job, and does just that. It's going to cost her a stroke, that missed tee shot. So she stumbles, descends a little bit. He's so young, very much on the ascendancy. Pulls this one. It's not often we look to her putter as cause for concern or an explanation for not being able to muster up some consistent makes. Meantime, let's take a look at 16. 339 meters, the entirety of the fairway disguised from the teeing ground. Over the knolls. .95 to 75 meters remaining to the front of the green. That's the average teeing distance. And then once again trying to navigate some tricky terrain. Pin today, front left. And looking at what has been done here thus far in this second round. See an average score of 3.91 for the round. Obviously shows a healthy amount of birdies. 24 at this point. On day number 2, Kim Soo-ji unable to keep that in the fairway.
오른쪽 파여서 오른쪽에 끝이 살짝 올라오면 거기가 더 센터가 있는 거야. 그냥 센터까지.
Three holes to find a birdie. No more bogeys if she has aspirations at playing another 18 tomorrow. And so 2 on 17. 8 is a very popular club here.
Good.
And that's just another one of the many reasons that we've seen today to explain why. Marvelous. Sun Eugene on the long way back. She's uphill. Inching closer and closer. That would have been for her eagle. Take a few moments and return to see how she fares with the birdie putt. 244 meters the drive for our joint runner-up at the moment. 83 meters to go from a great spot in the fairway. Full wedge sends that high up in the air. I was banking on some backspin, but the check bounced. Kimmy Bell is within 2.
Good.
Initial review is positive, and that's why. 4 more feet down and left, and she would have had an ace. many courses that we frequent on tour that belong on some artwork on the wall, maybe even a phone or computer background. It is that pretty. Lush green mountains and a demanding but rewarding Dayouwinia Country Club. Playing on the eastern portion of the facility, the Printemps and Été courses, French for spring and summer. A spring in the step of Kim Soo-ji. 3 holes to play, trying to pad her lead at the top. It's the 16th event of the season thus far. Take another quick break and be back to begin hour number 3. We've reached the top of the clock, and hour number 3 of our round 2 coverage begins with a nice recovery shot from the rough onto the green out of Pakbogyam. Yu So-yeon 2 on her penultimate hole. Still trying to scratch and claw her way back into the picture. That's not going to help the cause. One she had to have. She'll know it. And that'll be incredibly aggravating. Putt for a par. She stays over for the day. And 4 back. 4 back of who, you might be asking, if you're just joining us? Well, your answer is Kim Soo-ji. Hasn't needed to do much today. Only on pace for a 61. 3 last holes to try and conquer. Don't know that where that ball ends up pertains too much to the conquering feel. So Eugene downhill, just trying to guide it into the hole. That'll be a long awaited back-to-back birdie. Does it for the second time today. Moves into a tie for 6th. See if we can keep this birdie parade going. Next contestant is Kim In-byul. Shouldn't have troubled her, and didn't in the end. And the downhill putt, you can just make out the shadow of the hole to the right of Hung Yoo-min's caddy. That's vintage. As vintage as you can be as a rookie. She took 3 holes off, par, bogey, par. But she's back. Like she never left. An 8 out of 15 for Sung Eugene. She too will not be able to cling on to any of that green into the fringe. Kim Soo-ji once again with some company at the top. She'd love to not share. But from where she started that look for birdie, I think she would happily take par and head to the next. Lee So-young has done enough to this point to return to safety. Give her a chance to win a tournament with a 68 or 69, she'll pounce on it. And Park Bo-gyum, like a croquet wicket. Through she goes, and down the putt goes. Give her 4 now. Birdies, that is, on the day, and time for 45th. Just a couple of holes to go. Kim Soo-ji. We've seen Hung Yoo-min relinquish joint top. Kim Soo-ji trying to avoid that fate. But she's pulled it. Not even in the same atmosphere. Maybe, just maybe, a few nerves settling in for her as well. Sometimes it's worse not to have your closest challenger in the same group. Try and feed off the momentum, push each other. The excitement, the claps, a little short-lived. But the rollback will stay on the green. So is bogey. Down to 6 under. And her second time bogeying today. Here's the latest on 14. A popular path. Try and place it over the trees and give them a bit more credit and say hope for the best. She was hidden behind the leaves and compounding one mistake with another. That was shot number 2, and she is still well off of the green. Don't know that I'd say well off for Sung Eugene, but she's certainly not there in regulation. That's definitely not an 8-iron, I can assure you that. She almost delivered in a big way, putting from the fringe, but her miss will be moderately right. Setup shot. She set up something special. Tries to stay stoic. Easy for me to say. Waiting at the tee for the all clear. .145. This second to last hole. Back half and left. That's where the flag is. Is that where Kim Soo-ji goes? No, she goes mid-right. Well off. Third time's the charm for Park Ji-young. That putt that she will have next is for par. Speaking of pars, keeping herself within 2. And 2 under today. Pin comes out. A near formality. She needed that pin in a couple of holes ago when she had that birdie that was scooting across the green. She's captivating a country more and more by the week. Back-to-back birdies now, and she has a share of the lead as well. It's getting crowded at the top at 7 under. Yu So-yeon too had been hoping to join Kim Min-byul. For birdie, that is. She's still a few of those away. Making it 4 at the top. That will help. It's a step in the right direction. Yu So-yeon again looking for that little bit of breathing room. Par indeed. Even for the tournament, even for the round. Seems fitting. Hasn't lit this course up as she had done a year ago. One of the more challenging shots of the day for Kim Soo-ji. Somebody forgot to tell her that, though. She makes it look rudimentary. And Park Ji-young. Started above the hole from our vantage point. Watch it settle back down. And par.
와.
Good score based on what she was facing not too long ago. She's off to 15. On the par 5 third, we will reconvene with Yumin. First shot, excellent. Second shot of 166 meters. Was unable to stay in the fairway. Third on 3, 85 meters out for our co-leader. Not difficult to spot today in that turquoise get-up. Coach Yu and the week she'll never forget last week.
해가?
That was basically every other shot for her just a few days ago. You have to wonder if she benefited at all from not being in the final group of the day. Take a little bit of that edge, take a little bit of that pressure off. Gee, 4 back. Trying to take an eraser or at least a red pen. And you mean looking to start another breathtaking run of birdies. And weight-wise, she was there. Line-wise, ever so slightly. And that means nice effort, good thought. She has that extra bit of immunity. Kim Soo-ji patiently waiting her turn, finishes off her par. 1 hole to go. And by her standards, a much quieter day after her 67 yesterday. On pace for a 71 unless she has a little miracle saved for the very end. 85 meters from the fairway and a 52-degree wedge for Sung Eugene. Even that might have been too much club. Needed to stay front. Instead, she goes to the rear. So Kim Min-byul now has made this all the more fun up top. Kim Soo-ji, with her inability to consistently grab her birdies today, is only one clear of Peng Shin-shil, who matched what Kim Soo-ji had done yesterday in round 1. Still 30 degrees at the Dayouwinia Country Club up here in Pochun. Time to put the kettle on and settle in for what should be a fun final stretch. See if Kim Min-byul is able to bolster the lead, or if another rookie, Hung Yoo-min, won't be able to surpass and build upon what her fellow rookie has done thus far today. More golf around the corner, and it's coming up before you know it.
네. 저게 저 10, 여기서도 멘트하고 해가지고 한번 써보겠어요.
About, about 90 minutes ago, we could have said with some confidence that Park Ji-young was going to put up quite the fight. Reel in the leaders. But after an impressive run of back-to-back birdies, she has cooled right off and is now starting to see the remaining holes work against her. 358 meters is par 4. Final hole of the day for Kim Soo-ji, and without Kim Min-byul and fellow rookie Hung Yoo-min are playing. Birdie far from a necessity, but will feel like an imperative. Can she turn up the heat, turn up the pressure? That's not going to be the most hopeful of starts. And Sung Yee-jin on 16. She's trying to close the gap, starting to find her legs. A difficult run of it at times today. For the most part, not too many worries. And you mean also on a par 3, just on the other side of the course. Number 4. And it's an 8-iron. Needs to stay close to the front. Stays in the more or less bowl at the tip of this green. That will be a tricky putt for birdie. As will this, though this is not nearly as long range. All the par 3s in action right now. 15 in Coach U. Significantly better than where she had been yesterday when she shot a 75. Maybe a little bit of the figurative championship hangover. Sung Yee-jin gets there in 2. And has 2 to play to find what she would need at the minimum as 2 strokes. Park Bo-gyeom was narrowly off and right of the fairway, so she plays her second from the rough. 144 meters to go. Gotta stay left. And she's done that. She's done that with a flourish. Would be a more than commendable end to the round. Park So-hyun quietly sticking around. She's at 4 under. Gonna roll, bounce, and stay on the green where it meets the fringe at the back left. Kim Soo-ji on the left side of the little drop-off, but in the fairway again, contemplating between 2 clubs. Trying to force the issue a bit. To likely be minimum 7 under to guarantee a spot in the featured group. Her approach from 110, that's more like it. She was denied of too many of those close putts today to build a safety nest. And time to pick out a landing position. Kim and Biel and her caddy think they've found it. And a little pitch up. Catches it sweetly. Maybe a bit too sweet. Ends up hole right from the tee blocks just up ahead. And Yumin can go outright with this putt for birdie. 8 under would be hers. And it's on its way. Slight fade, 7 under will stay, assuming she doesn't find any drama. Out comes the flag. For relative obscurity. To 4 under for the day. Precisely what was required of her. Pacquiao on 17. Not many players finding themselves in the middle of the green. Not many players from that distance finding birdies. She's officially wiped out the 2 bogeys on the front 9. But might just be too little too late. Remember, even par is our projected cut line. Anything with a plus beside the number spells trouble and uncertainty. Park Ji-young, multiple commands for the ball to sit. She goes middle left. This is quite the warm-up for tomorrow, when we expect her back in the thick of the hunt. Pressure-packed putt, but made to look easy. One hole remains. .86 out on the 16th fairway. It's a serviceable location. More on the tee at 18. Kim Min-biel had finished just a few minutes ago at the par 3. Ready to go. Margin for error so fine going to that side of the grass bunker. .17. Sung Eugene with the 7. puck's so nice, it's almost worth seeing twice. One down, next is Pak Bogyam. A subdued reaction, but one of relief. Finishes 2 under for the day with a 70 in round number 2. And now Pak So-hyun to step up to 5 under. Depending on the moment in the tournament and the trip to the green, that's either agonizing Kim Soo-ji with plenty of patience. Her time to shine. Navigates that slight downhill well. 67 in the opening round. Finalizes a 70 in round number 2. 5 under par with 1 round remaining. Well, there was one moment, one hole to summarize the day. It might just be that for Park Ji-young. Another 2-putt par. See if this patience pays off. Didn't take her very long to find that moment. Much, much tamer Saturday than we expect it to be tomorrow. Starting to get a good idea as well. Over the water, over the ravine, and just up. Just trying to find a bit of shelter from the sun. Wide open green for Pacquiao. Needed a hole out to put herself back on the right side, the correct side of the cut line. Momentum-wise, birdie will still feel like quite the accomplishment regardless of where we sit at the moment. And next. That makes a beeline left. Tell she was really trying to manage how tight the flag is today to the front of the green. Speed-wise, distance-wise, right on the money. Location-wise, leaving a little bit to be desired. Big moment for Sung Eugene. Birdied here in round one, trying to go back-to-back. Anytime you don't hear a rattle right away, you ask questions, and moments later, suspicions confirmed. She'll call it quits on day two. And when she does, she'll be close to the top. Will she be at the top? Lee So-young, from looking like she was going to miss the cut. Bit of a head scratcher at times this second round. No one has ever doubted the quality. Maybe a few more doubts in a 3-round even-yeared setup. But last year, here at Dayouwinia, 3 rounds then, and Lee So-young was borderline untouchable. It was a 232-meter drive up the hill for Hung Min. Leaves her with 155. And that's just to the front of the green. Okay, gotta get all the way back. Still sharing the lead at 7 under. On her 14th hole of the day, hole number 5 of the course. And she is going to finally see that stop just before losing it down the hill. Kim Yoon-byul rolling it up, that close to one final bird. It's been the day of the rookies, playing with the skill, confidence, and poise of wily veterans. 1 bogey at 5, otherwise 5 birdies on the day, a 68 in round 2. Also an 8. Down it goes, a little bit of help from the wind. About 6.5, 7 meters to go. And now, time ran out on Pacquiao. Time for one last bit of festive moods and dreams of the gallery behind. She's gonna bow to the tournament. At 74 yesterday, ultimately cost her a spot. Coach Yu 7. She is one of the best on tour and has been the past few weeks at those exact types of shot.
그냥 충분히
Dayouwinia in the shadow of her group mates in the second round Saturday, but quietly assembling a very smart, a very tidy 68. Holds that fall through just a little longer. And away they go. What's in store for them? That's a different question. And you mean starting the long journey back up? She could have played that chip multiple times. And sent the dollar at 1 in various different avenues. It's only 93 meters on this par 4 16th. Some last instructions as she watches that soar off the back and off period. Really taking her time with every single motion. Young down to the final hole, comfortably inside of the cut line. Not too many rounds that would be classified in the what if category. She certainly applies for that exception. Really taking her time, trying to ensure she doesn't take too much and overthink it. Fractionally misaligned left. And as a result, So Young will have to settle for 2. little more than a tap in 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 holes left. And 4 under for today after yesterday's 69. Couple of final practice swings. Green is all clear. One, 2, and 3. 2 of them not quite able to dig in time and stay putting. Coach Yu to close the gap to 5. Ups. The odds of catching and repeating are low, but the odds of a top 10 for yet another week for Coach Yu are very much alive. It's going to take an impressive final round, but as we were taught repeatedly and without any doubt, she is capable of those big final rounds. Becoming more and more overcast as we near the end of round number 2. Kim Min-byul and Kim Soo-ji have both met the end of this moving day, a 68 and a 70 respectively. Hung Yoo-min is on 15 and has those 4 final holes. Just needs 1 birdie, and the lead is hers at 8 under par. Just about closing time, still a few more holes to go. It's our coverage of the Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open, live from the Taeyu Molver Country Club in Pocheon. We'll take a quick pause. This is certainly unconventional. I'm sure the discussion was had. Is putter really our best option? And I don't know that a pitching wedge or any other club would make this any more likely, but you can tell she's really focused on clean contact. It's going to go straight downhill and pop up a bit. Just trying to roll it close. Well, she has succeeded in that. Of course, she wanted a couple more feet to the left, but Sung Eugene is officially through. Almost an identical round to what she shot yesterday, just one stroke more. 69 and 70 inside the top 10. Not out of it, but gonna need some close to mistake-free golf tomorrow for the most part. Or at least some bevy of mistakes above her to really bring her in. Forecast for tomorrow, well, we're gonna lose the sun. Mostly cloudy and some showers. We've got thunderstorms and occasional gusts of wind listed as well, which could make for an interesting final round. ENG will unfortunately not be joining us tomorrow. Battled with this course today. +2, a chance to go to +1. Left to right break and downhill. Here it goes. Looks good. That's a nice way to finish the tournament. She'll be disappointed that it's not going to be quite enough, but that 76 yesterday really put her on the back foot. A nice bounce back today, though, with the 69. And just before we say goodbye, we'll run through the highlights. It has been quite a quick 3 hours. 74 meters. Back on number 2. Seriously close to an eagle for Pengxin Qiu. We showed you her final score. And the biggest thing for her was just eliminating the double bogeys today. You can see more and more players pushing that 6-under score, and it only took one hole for Kim Soo-ji to get there. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to sustain that consistent birdie making. Can't say the same for Pengxin Qiu. That is a lot of circles on that scorecard, which is precisely what she needed. 3 under at the moment. And rifling up. Nice birdie early in the round to go to 4 under. Then this had been on 3. 83 meters. Kim Soo-ji. Nice backspin to keep it close. Give her a shot. And the shot, she'd make the most of it. So 7 under early in the day. Pengxin Qiu just trying to get closer and closer. And my goodness, was she ever locked in today. The 7th birdie brought her to 5 under. And on 6, this should be a daunting proposition. A very, very tight line with how much that pin is located to the left edge today, and unable to reach the green from the sand. So she would drop back to 6 under and struggle to elude that mark for the most part today. Kim Min Bial, another one of the rookies that captured a lot of the headlines today. These two have been trading shot for shot in the rookie list and trading shot for shot today. An unbelievable start to the round for Hung Yoo-min. 3 straight birdies. Kim Soo-ji would finally return to the birdies early in the back 9. Then on 16, she had been perfect in her greens in regulation. She'd have a bit of a cold patch after this hole, but certainly didn't go cold until she found that birdie. 2 players at 7 under at this point. Kim Min-byul, she needed that pin to stay in. It was the right decision to leave it. At that point, birdie number 3 for her. And then this is where things unraveled slightly. On hole 9, which was towards the end of her day, and then 15, 8-iron for Kim Min-byul.
Good.
This was pretty. Just a few feet away from an ace. Rolls in another and would join the fray, tied for 2nd. Turning the corner and beginning the back 9. And after 3 holes without a birdie, she'd be back to it. Up to 7 under she'd go. Not to be outdone, a 48-degree wedge from just outside of 60 meters. Look at the divot she takes and stops less than a foot and a half from a birdie. She'd, of course, make that. Then to 18, Kim Soo-ji saving one of her best approach shots for her final hole. And from there, finishing the round with a 70. 3-way tie at 7 under. And this bit of brilliance, fractionally off from one final birdie. Tap in for a par to secure that score. And it looks like this. Hung Yoo-min is going to have a chance to take the outright lead. Kim Soo-ji, just that 70 today, but still enough to be in the company of the 2 brilliant rookies. Kim Min-ju, a 68, Jae Min-young and Han Shin-sun, a pair of 69s to be tied for 4th, the 2nd best score through 36 holes. Pang Shin-sil, and that remarkable 65. She had been +2 and looking like she was out of it, but she brought her game for this moving day and did the moving in the proper direction today. Kim Woo-jung is 67, Lee Chae-eun 2 also at 5 under par. Lee Nak-young, An Sun-ju, Kim Chae-hee, Hang Jung-mi, Park Ju-young, Lee Ji-hyun 2 tied for 13th at 4 under. And then the list grows quite significantly, tied for 23rd. Speaking of rookies, Lee Shu-ying, the Chinese, at 3 under. Kim Yeon-hee and Kim Ji-soo also at that 3 under score. Moon Jung-mi also not quite out of it yet, inside of the top 50. Kim Yan, Chi Han-sol amongst those at 2 under. Pak Bo-gyum, we watched plenty of her today. Sung Ga-eun only a 70 in this second round. It was enough to put her above the cut line. Lee Sul-gi and Pak Bo-mi are also narrowly going to join us tomorrow. As it stands, with only a handful of groups still out there, 63 players of the 120 that began the week will be competing for the title tomorrow. Will it be a tie at that 7 under, or will we be chasing Hung Yoo-min when we return to the course tomorrow? As always, our final round will begin 1 hour earlier, 1 p.m. local time, and we'll be with you from that point all the way through to the moment where a champion is crowned, and then the ceremony on the 18th green. We'll keep a close eye on the weather, but it looks to be a little bit more daunting tomorrow than it has been this week. But what that means is it makes for a more interesting final round. For our SBS Golf and Spot Cruise, I've been Adam Jenkins. Appreciate you joining us. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow for the final round of the 11th Dayouwinia MBN Women's Open from the Tayou Mulvert Country Club in Pochon. See you tomorrow.